Alrighty, so I'm going to make a quick update on all of these plants here. Obviously, I've moved around the setup a little bit, so the dentates, I moved back there because they are not growing as fast, and I decided they're not the primary, source that I needed to be looking at. So I moved the B52s up here, and I moved the red dragons over here. Speaking of which, the B52s have only been growing for a month, and they already look like they did last year in the peak of their summer. Which means that it's going to be a really crazy growing season, and I'm very, very excited. And as for these plants here, and then I'm going to be selling later in the year, they are also beginning to root in and start, sizing up those traps. So very, very excited for these as well. Red dragons are a little bit slower to develop. They have a lot of trap deformities, which I think is very interesting. It's not usual that they produce so many unfunctional traps, but the sundews are also coming along nicely, and we'll just have to give this one a little bit more time, I think. Of course, as I mentioned previously, the dentates are still very, very slow to awaken. Probably the slowest, but of course, still better. And as for the back, the purpurias are doing great. So this plant has popped open its first pitcher. Obviously not the biggest pitcher, but it is very, very early spring. Has a second one on the way. This plant in the back is making 2 pitchers. This was that really large growth point last spring. It is producing another flower, which is interesting. It produced one last spring and one last fall. And the growth point has also multiplied. So now there's a point there, and there's a point on the end there that's producing another 2 pitchers. And then I grew a sundew back there, just for the fun of it. I know I talk about these a lot, but these are the Judith Hindle, which are doing literally phenomenal. All plants are on their second, if not third pitcher right now. The main plant is producing its 4th. Take a look at these pitchers, man. These are little seedlings, and they look so amazing. I just cannot wait for all these plants to, size up a little bit for the season, because this is going to be a very full looking pot of plants. There's 9 of them in here. And I just watered everything, so it's all pissing all over my floor, so I have a towel. And besides all that, I don't really think there's anything else to cover. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.